Welcome back to Loc'd In Real Conversations, where we have authentic conversations that actually challenge our perspectives, inspire healing, and strengthen our community. So today's guest is a man who's dedicated his life to serving others, whether in the community, in our church, and even at home, both professionally and personally. So please help me welcome back Mark Jones. He's a devoted husband, loving father, licensed social worker, mental therapist, and community leader whose work has impacted countless individuals, families throughout the Mahoning Valley. Mark is also the facilitator of a men's group called Men on a Mission, a men's mental health and personal development group through Advanced Counseling Solutions right here in Austintown. This transformative program inspires men to build emotional resilience, embrace accountability, strengthen relationships, and develop the tools needed to navigate life and purpose. So whether he's supporting clients in the counseling room, leading men through meaningful conversations in Men on a Mission, or showing up for his own family as a husband and a father, Mark definitely exemplifies what it means to lead with compassion, integrity, and service. At a time when conversations about men's mental health are very important, more than ever, Mark is helping break the stigma by reminding men that asking for help isn't a sign of weakness. It's one of the greatest acts of strength. So Mark, thank you for joining me again. It's truly an honor to have you back on Loc'd In Real Conversations. I'm so excited about our conversation today.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
Yeah, so we're bringing you back from our last conversation where we were talking about men and emotional silence and how we as women and family members and community leaders, we can all identify that and again break the stigma of that. Men on a Mission, and what inspired you to create such a group?
I think inspired is maybe too generous of a word. I believe the Lord wanted to use me in a big way for a long time, and I kind of wanted to do it my way for a long time. Yeah. And he was kind of like, no, you're going to do it this way. And he's been like nudging me. And I'm in the season now where it's like, I'm going to shut up and listen. And this is kind of where we at now. So we created a safe space for young men and grown men to discuss emotional safety, right? And explore how to communicate among each other and with relationships, as well as just to talk about manhood and what does that truly mean to an individual.
Okay, what would you encourage a man or a young teen or a young boy to encourage him to come out to your meetings?
I would encourage you to do a little self-reflection. If you've been going around trying to find avenues or direction and you've been coming up empty-handed, it's time to try something new. And I just so happen to be blessed enough to have some great men in my life that chose to show me how to communicate and give me the ropes, if you will, or gold nuggets, if I like to think of it.
Okay. Well, I think a most important topic is, like we talked about last time, was the silence. And I'm not just saying like, oh, they don't talk. I mean, when it comes to things that they're emotionally maybe in turmoil about, where they just don't feel like there may be a safe space. So that's a part of where Men on a Mission, where you can find your safe space, and it's almost like Vegas. What goes on in the mission stays in the mission.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I'm gonna dub that. I love that. That's awesome.
Give me credit.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. To your point, it's really cool. I'm very fortunate enough to be a therapist, to work with a gamut of people, but work with young men is really cool. And they bring up really cool questions that I feel like if there is a place where there were more fathering or parenting from a male perspective in our society as a whole, they will probably know these things. But I think it's bravery upon them to find a new place and an outlet to find the answer that they're seeking. And I think this is it. We created a space where gentlemen from all walks of life come share some knowledge and some kind of poke around and find out new ways to win.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Winning outside of sports.
Yeah, because you know, life is about taking the wins, right? You gotta figure out how to get ahead. Everybody's not, nobody's exempt from turbulence in life. Everybody's gonna run into challenges, right? And this is a space where guys come from all walks and be able to say, like, these are my set of challenges. How do I get ahead? Like, where do I go? I tried these things. Some other men will be like, yeah, I went down that road too. That ain't the one. but I came in and did this road, and it kind of worked for me. So what is for you, Yeah. And I think it leads to like a good portion of identity, because a lot of gentlemen don't have an identity or a sense of what to aim for identity. So it's a really cool space where me and a co-facilitator, we share some clinical backing.
Okay.
So we provide tools. I'm an advocate that therapy can be as creative as you make it, however you need to get into it. But that's where we go.
Yeah, I know my therapist. She's my best friend, I feel like. I don't even talk to her in professional anything. Girl, let me tell you what happened today.
Yes.
But let's stay on that train as to piggyback on emotional silence. I want to really talk about the cost of emotional silence. So last time when we talked about why many men stay silent, let's take it a step further. What emotional silence really costing men today in their marriages, their friendships, careers, and ultimately we all know stress affects the body. Mm-hmm. So how could it, affect their physical health as well?
I always like to use this example when I deal with men is in our earlier days, like the 50s, you think about guys having a lot of heart attacks and strokes is because they used to stuff a lot of emotions. Like, I'm gonna go work this 16-hour meal job, and I'm gonna come home, I'm gonna eat a hot one, I'm gonna go to bed. I might say hi to the kids, I might not. I'm gonna just stuff this anger down and keep going and to kill over, right? So what silence is really doing is limiting us as men. Like, I think the picture and the portion we play in shaping our society and the futures to come is limiting by us playing small ball and not expressing ourselves. And I think that's what silence is occurring.
Absolutely. So is there a way, let's just talk about marriages. Let's say you had your silent moments and you're going through something. Absolutely. Has nothing to do with your wife, nothing to do with your children. How, obviously, your marriage is bound by God, so she may have some discernment, but what are some cues that, he might be suffering in a way that he's not talking about?
I think men are very basic in nature. I feel like sometimes our beautiful counterparts overthink where we may be at on that emotional bandwidth, because I feel like sometimes our counterparts want us to elaborate grand with our words, and I just don't believe a lot of men have been educated to have more verbiage as far as it relates to where they stand at emotionally. So I think if a person is giving you their best verbally, like, hey, I kind of want to sit in silence, or I just need a moment, or I just need a second to play the game. There's a lot of guys that's into that. Or, whatever the case is, I think that's saying something. Okay. Right? If they are obsessively getting into something to avoid things, that's saying something. Right? So I think of those cues is worth paying attention to, especially if you're in relationships. People's behaviors change the way they handle or carry stress, or how a person is overwhelmed, right? I think one cool thing my wife does, Gran, is she would say, kids can be going crazy, she's cooking, the phone is going off, and she'd be like, I'm overwhelmed right now, I'm overstimulated. Me in that moment, I will never do that. It's just not how I will respond. Yeah. You know what I mean? I will probably say nothing, and I would just be getting things done. But see, from the outside in, if you were to ask me, I would say, yeah, I was definitely stressed, but I was doing this thing where she could verbally say, this is kind of where I'm at. Which we are just different sometimes. But I think we could benefit and we could both grow skills in that department.
Yeah, I love that. So let's go on to, and this is my favorite topic, and where boys become men. And so I feel like it kind of transitions right around like maybe, even though we say 12 age accountability,
Sure.
I really feel like they're starting to transition and pivot into like a manhood around 9, 10, where this is the basis of how I know how to be a man right there. And then you get into high school, and then
Sure.
you know those things like that. So, we talked about it last time. You know, you hear, "Don't cry." What are you crying for? You're too emotional. You're not a girl. You know what I mean? So, at what point do those messages become like an emotional prison inside of them?
From the very beginning, like I think once you shut off a person from being able to express any emotion, it's a prison. Like, you know, I think everybody's entitled to this temporary space. It's more or less how you display it, and that's where we miss the boat a lot of times. Like, I was just self-educating myself listening to a podcast, and this gentleman was talking about how in fatherhood, most men need to respond with giving me the honest truth first, and then we can handle with consequences later. Like, let me hear the honest truth.
Yeah.
And let me deal with it, sit with it myself, and then we can kind of like figure out what's an appropriate consequence. To our earlier conversation, that's kind of like one cool thing my dad did, opposed to fearing where a person may still stumble, and then that person just won't tell you.
Yeah.
You know, which is backwards. It's not what you really want in a relationship, right? So.
No, absolutely not. It's crazy that you're talking about, you were learning on a podcast, and I was listening to one on my way here, and they were talking about how men that are now, what we're trying to get them to do, are now more open, more emotionally feeling safe to say how they feel, and now society is turning it into, oh, they're passive, they're
Sure.
soft, oh, they're sassy.
Sure.
You know what I mean? How can we still give them that safe space, so they don't feel like it? Because, you know, the one guy said, once she called me sassy, I was done. I'm not telling her anything else.
Sure.
We're done.
Sure.
I promise you, you
Sure.
won't use this against me. And I was like,
Sure.
ooh. And I know I told you, you know, last time I did something.
Yeah,
I did
it's
something like that. So, you know, what could we do? I mean, even as men, you know, leaders, dads, you know, religious leaders, things like that. What can we do to give them a safe platform and not make them feel like they're being overly feminine
Sure.
by, you know, projecting their emotions?
I don't know the answer. I wish I did, to be honest with you. I wish I did. I just think we as people, no matter men or women, we are heavily judgy for no reason. And then you just don't know what season you may be in. Like, your season could be next, and you could be in this space. Like, you could be this ass one. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like, and I think because we have our own definition or identity of what manhood should look like, right? We talked about that in the first conversation.
Yeah.
Like, people have this like brute this and brute that, but like, I also want you to be kind and gentle with me. It's like, how often do you see that? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know if you want to get a good, you know, but I think that's where you get into the judgment of it, right?
Yeah.
Opposed to what real relationship is, what real marriage is a survival partner. Like, this, I'm going through life with you. This is a commitment. Like, we're going to figure this out.
Yeah.
What skills you have, these are the skills I have. Let's make this thing work. Let's win. Let's
win.
Let's figure this out. Like, you know.
So I think you do know the answer to my question.
No, look,
let's talk about it in Men on a Mission.
Don't do that.
I'm just saying, how do you get them? I know God has everything to do with it, and He's in the forefront, but just a man walking into the building. At first, I mean, the first step is to walk in, but what do you feel like you're bringing in these meetings that is giving that safe space to even open up?
I just try to give a space of normalcy. Like, you experience something that we all have.
Yeah.
You know, this is nothing new. You haven't you haven't seen you haven't did anything brand new. Like, it's nothing new under the sun, is what the wise counsel will say.
Yes,
right?
yes.
And it's very true. So, like, and I think that's super common for a lot of guys. Like, definitely in this space, right? Like, there's other married men, and I love hearing other married men talk, because there's this identity that men are afraid to commit And there are some really good guys out there that's like, no, she's on my nerve today, but like that's still my wife. Like I'm gonna still go home. Like I just want to tell you why she get on my nerves. She just need to hear why she get on my nerves. I just want her to listen to this. Like I still want to be in this, but she just got to listen. Like, and I have guys that's like that. Like, I'm trying to do this thing, but like she's talking about all this other stuff that doesn't matter. and it's admiring because like they're not coming to say like how do I figure a way out of my marriage, where society is like, no, these guys are scared to commit, these guys are this, these are mostly or these guys are weak, they don't know. And like I generally have men that's coming to me like, oh yeah, here's where we at, maybe I'm miscommunicating this, like I don't know, like they like one too many beers, I don't know, whatever. Like I don't maybe this is what I'm trying to drive home. Like help me get there. Yeah. And this is a space, right? Like I'm gonna give you, me and my co-facilitator, we give you some skills, some very clinical backgrounding, like real tools that you can practice. And we also just, again, bring back some creativity, make it very individual to the person. Like I'm not trying to get you to be somebody different, but I'm just trying to enhance who you are today.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Enhancements. I love that. So when is your next round of meetings? I know you just started in May.
Yeah, so we just finished up, which was really cool, a great experience. We're going to start again in September. I don't have a dates just yet, so be on the lookout, please.
Oh, absolutely. On my platform, I'll definitely, guys, plug you in. I make all of my men clients listen to your interview, and they're like, I need Mark. I need a Mark.
Sweet.
You know, and I was like, you can get Mark. He's right back there. You can get him. Yeah. And if you can't get him on that one-on-one, the Men on a Mission is definitely something that you guys want to try. I would even encourage, men, bring your sons, bring your sons' friends, things like that, because if we can catch them young, it's almost like teaching a baby or a toddler different languages. If we can grasp them at that spongy stage, then maybe we can create some men of honor, throughout that way.
Yes. The program itself, just some cliff notes about the program, is bi-weekly, so you'll get it twice a month. It's always on a Saturday. It's going to be 3 to 5, and the next round will be in September.
All right, so stay tuned, come back. I'll definitely let you know when it starts back up. So back to you.
I feel like I'm on the hot seat.
You are. I bought it just for you.
Oh my goodness.
Let's talk about, we did talk about it a little bit, hidden struggles.
Yes.
So I'll just say Obama. I noticed in his 8 years, You didn't think he always kept his cool, but you could see how some of the stress kind of took him. He went from black to gray real fast.
Sure. Yeah.
But somebody who's successful and very confident and emotionally, I'll even say that myself. A lot of people are getting to know me through the podcast, and they didn't know certain struggles that I've had.
Sure. And
they didn't see me invulnerable. Somebody commented and was like, "I've never seen you cry before." Well, you ain't supposed to, but somebody that appears to be strong, alpha female, alpha male, while they're silently battling depression, anxiety, grief, what are some warning signs that we often overlook?
It's just interesting. We talked about this a little bit earlier. I think the more you know a person, the way a person manages stress overall will be very similar in other departments of their life, if you will, right? So if a person all of a sudden gets quiet, or if they're more snippy, maybe shorter with responses, I just think those are good signs, right? If somebody's trying to distance or do a lot of avoiding behaviors, that's usually those signs. To ask more questions, right? You in a good place? Is this about me? Is this something I can do for you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Do I need to create a space where you have to come to me when you're ready? You need to do your own personal thing and then come? I'm cool with that too.
Yeah.
One of those kind of things.
I think that is very powerful, but it is very easy to overlook. I'll never forget at my dad's funeral, I didn't shed a tear. And back then I wasn't getting makeup done. Normally for every time I go to funerals now, I just do not want to feel at that moment. So I didn't cry. I was running around, handling business. And just now, like earlier today, my brother was like, sis, you okay? Like, I just remember, I don't remember anything else, but I remember you didn't cry. Like, did you love him? Did you? I said, I absolutely did. I absolutely loved him. I didn't feel safe to show those emotions. I didn't feel safe and no one noticed. I mean, you did, but that's almost 20 years later. You know what I mean? So that's a good thing because I told you in our last conversation, I didn't see my mom cry until I was almost in my 30s. But I didn't know that she was battling behind closed doors. And I'll even say, like, right now, me and my producer, we lost our best friends. But we're running around, buzzing around. We got this going on. We're doing social media content. And then at the end of the day, it's just like I wanted to call her last night, but I was so plagued with grief, but nobody knew. And I just think if we just pay attention to our loved ones and notice those pattern changes, like you said, I think that we can, be hand in hand in healing. What do you think?
Absolutely. Hand in hand. Yes. Yeah. I think we just have to be more present with each other.
Yeah.
I feel like we just live in a time period where there's so many distractions and it's easy to get distance in between you, and then that's when you start missing things, right? You just fall through the cracks. Like after the funeral, people, right before the funeral, let me get you some pop and feed you, and how are you doing? I just want to come sit with you. And then after the funeral and after the repast, maybe a couple days will go by and the calls will be coming, and then it stops. And then you're alone in that silence. And I think that's the time you need to ramp up and love on your loved ones. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Be an extra space. The time that you took to go over their house every single day right before the funeral, I feel like that, not every single day, because I'm telling you, when I'm grieving, please get out my face. I think you bring up a good point, though. I feel like we as individuals oftentimes don't communicate what we truly need. Like, you just so happen to like to grieve silently first. Like, you kind of want to deal with it yourself.
Yep.
I will probably be very much the same in some aspects. Like, I kind of want to get my thoughts together, especially my words. It's like I want to be able to communicate something I can stand on, right? Where some people are like, I don't want to be by myself. Like, I want all the affection right now, all the hugs, everybody sleeping over. Like, I just
don't want to be alone.
Period. You know what I mean? But people don't communicate that, and then we do this guessing game. Like, you should have known, but should I? You know what I mean? Like, is it really that? Like, is it fair to put that kind of pressure on somebody when really you want to receive it? Old folks would say, closed mouths don't get fed.
They don't. They really don't.
So consider, like, if I have the space and opportunity where I can bless you with a space to heal. Yeah. And you say nothing.
Well, let me challenge you on that.
Please.
And that's just my mind. This is me being someone who likes to handle everything on her own, because I feel like if I'm asking for this, or can you just come sit with me, or can we just talk on the phone, or can we just sit on the phone, I feel like I'm an inconvenience to that person. You know what I mean? So from my perspective, there's a lot of people that was like, hey girl, like, I know it's Desi's birthday coming up. You want to go to the cemetery together? And I'm like, no, I want to spend time. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I don't want you to come all the way out your way to come to sit at a cemetery and you don't even have the same affection.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, I think we think too little of each other. Like, you're not an imposer. How you imposing when I want to be in this space to help you heal? So like, you took a person's opportunity to like do a good deed. Like, be a good person. Like, how? I'm in this space, I can share this with you.
Yeah, I love that. Okay. Alrighty, so my biggest thing, and I'll just say, even speaking to my brother, like when we were on the phone together, and it almost like made me cry because Dad died when he was 14. And I feel like that's a pivotal time, even though I said 10, but I think 14 and going into high school and having to teach. Like, we don't have a lot of uncles.
Yeah.
So he didn't have that male figure to reach out, and he was just trying to navigate manhood on his own. So right now, I would just like if you could maybe speak to the man that's watching this interview who believes he has to carry all of his burdens alone or feel like asking for help is a sign of weakness. What would you say to him?
You know, what I would say to anybody that's looking for words of wisdom, right, that's related to that is it doesn't make you weak by seeking advice. I think it will make you foolish to not ask questions or seek advice for a direction you know you want to go in. Like the one that doesn't seek advice or help is the lost one.
Yeah. I honestly want you guys to just sit back and think. Just like Mark said, there's times that somebody before you went through this same exact path, and now he could tell you, you know what, we might want to go left this time because this road is crazy. And I don't think that that's making him weak as a man. I think that it's trial and error, and now he wants to help someone avoid those paths.
Absolutely. Nobody's exempt from challenges. Like we was talking about earlier, no one is exempt from challenges. So like the older men that's in your life that survive, that's around to share any knowledge, even their wrongs, it's worth listening to. Like they still here for an impactful reason. Use it while you got an opportunity to.
Absolutely. And I do want to piggyback what you said about like society trying to make like men don't want to commit. I like that. Where there are more men who do want to commit, but they want their wives or their girlfriends to be able to hear them and understand. But if they don't communicate,
there you go.
If they, so maybe there's certain things that they could probably try to communicate. Like, how would you help them? Let's say, you know, I'm a brother from the hood, I'm married, you know, I come sit in your office, I'm like, I love her. You know, I love her. I want to be with her. This is where I want to be. She doesn't understand me. And then remember, we were talking about the upbringings. So how would we connect different upbringings to communicate to have a successful marriage?
So it's really funny that you bring that up. What I do with a lot of guys is they come into my office and we have this open dialogue about what they truly want out of their marriage. And to be honest, to hear some of these guys, it's like some of the simplest things. And like, and they in it for the win too. They in it like they just. There's a lot of guys that I've been very, very fortunate to work with. It's like I'm not here to quit. I'm just trying to figure this out. Like where we at on the spectrum? Like you know, we like is 50 years in our ballpark or like what we doing? Like you know what I mean? So to answer your question, what I tend to do with a lot of guys is like really dive into what they truly want. Like I'm going to push you to really talk to me about what are you aiming for and how have you tried to do it? Like, how did you try to get there? And then what tends to happen is because we have this space and like now it's like normalcy, just two guys talking.
Yeah.
They done opened up, they done shared these things, right? And they're like, you know, I give them some words to use like, oh, this, are you really trying to explain that or are you trying to explain this? Yeah. Oh, this one, this, I didn't know I could say that. That's, that's a word you could use to describe this feeling. Like that's what you're trying to like get at, right? Like I don't want to put no words in your mouth, right? It's just kind of, so go home and like put this at practice because what's really happening is I think we talked about a lot of anger before. Yeah. Right? What I think what happens is a lot of guys express or they display anger when it comes to limitation of what they're trying to express. It just like snowballs to anger because that's easy to do, right? Yeah. But really what a lot of guys need is time to be able to get the words out and communicate effectively what they're trying to get across. There's a lot of guys that want to be in it to win it. Like they really want to be committed.
Okay. So I was watching this podcast with Cam Newton, and he had this girl on here, Carisha, and she asked him a question, and he was actually interviewing her, but she was like, no, I'm going to ask you these questions. And she's like, what do you want from a woman? And he's like, I want her to be my piece. She said, no, you don't. No, you don't. So I kind of wanted to like bring that up. I'll just say if you say I want a woman to be my piece, what does that look like for you?
I would say you ask him, what does that look like for him? Mm-hmm. What does having peace mean to you? See, having peace to me means completely different from another man. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That'll be the question, like explore. See, I think, again, we were talking about this earlier very softly, right? We all have these terms that we use very casually, but they all are defined differently. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we don't spend enough time when we're talking about, they're like, oh, you mentioned peace. My definition of peace is very different than yours. What do you mean? Yeah,
what do you mean? Mm-hmm. Like,
how do I contribute to your version of peace?
So is that what we should be asking our men? Well, what does peace look like to you?
If a guy brings that up to you, like, I want you to be my peace, yes, ask him, what does that look like? How do I fit into this framework of your peace? And then you as a woman should say, I can see me as that or no. Then you would know what you need to do.
Do you think these are like the dating questions we should be asking?
And it's crazy because people just speed past it.
Yeah. Like the real things. Like in our last conversation, I never knew that I needed to ask the questions on how you grew up.
You know, but consider, right? If you, again, what I'd like to do with my young men, are you thinking about being a husband one day? Like, are you juggling the idea of being a dad one day? A lot of these guys, especially like a lot of my teens, they trying to think about this. Nah, they're like, I can see myself being a dad. Like, maybe not now, which is funny because you see a lot of teens that, like, no, not right now, but like one day, like, I could.
Yeah.
And to me, in that moment, that's when you start exploring these things. What does that look like to you?
Yeah.
Can you define commitment? Like, as a father of girls, that's the question I'm asking guys. So what does commitment mean to you? And then I'm asking my daughter, is that suited for you? You signing up for that?
Yeah. And so speaking of your daughters, do you feel like you're showing a level of commitment that they would want to model after? Because I know for sure, in my last interview with our last guest, I kept saying I was looking for my father in the different men that I was dating. Trying to find that because I didn't have that relationship. So do you challenge your clients or just your friends, your bros? Like, are you being an example for what your daughter wants or should have?
I like to believe I do. I like to believe I do because I believe that everything you do is being evaluated by our youth, right? By our kids.
Yeah.
Like they definitely are watching your wins and your losses, right? And I think that's how we mold them. Like, you have to bring it to the table and kind of talk about it. There's no right way or wrong. I guess there could be a wrong way of parenting, but like, there's no book on it. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know what the true bandwidth of that looks like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, the reality is we have to create a space where we are mirroring what we truly want our kids to have. And if you are in a space where you have the opportunity to show commitment, love, family tradition, even if you didn't come from it and that's something that you want to inherit and pass on, come to a space and find where people have it.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of times people always come to me like, well, I didn't have it. Cool. Who do you know that has it? Like, have you watched things, like, especially nowadays, like, you can go on YouTube and TikTok and see all kind of videos and what, you know what I mean? Like, there are definitely things that you can embody by just good mentorship and good counsel.
So to piggyback off that, we growing up, us 80s, 90s babies, we grew up watching fictional characters. The Cosbys, My Wife and Kids, things like that, Sanford and Son.
Yeah.
Do you think that is something that we can look at as far as reality? Like, am I going to look at Mr. Cosby and be like, I want to be a dad like him?
Man, a wise man once told me, your eyes and ears are gateways to your soul, right? So, to answer your question, yes. If you watching this, you can achieve this. You could definitely embody this thing, and the reverse of that, right? So like, yeah. So and I just say that on a bigger concept, we all have to be careful about what we tend to plant, as far as into what you choose to listen to, what you choose to watch. It always taints your view on things.
Absolutely. The music I'm listening to will be my attitude for the day.
Yeah.
So if I put on DMX, you can tell I'm rock.
Yeah. Looks funny. Sorry. That's funny.
But it's the music and what we see on TV that shapes our mind. And I kind of want, our young men and our, our fathers and stuff like that to kind of, be careful of what you want to feed your body. Because, unbeknownst to you and subconsciously, you'll be reenacting that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So to close up here, Mark, I really, really want you to talk to our next generation. We're millennials, and we know it all. Okay?
Hilarious.
We are the generation to tell you guys what to do and don't defer.
That's funny.
I will say that. I was like, Mom, I don't know. You 60s people, you didn't have it together. Hilarious. But we have it together. And so I want you to just leave a nice legacy for our next generation. So imagine a young boy, a teen, even a young man, young father, or husband is watching our conversation. What one lesson about manhood, emotional intelligence, and vulnerability that you hope he learns before the world teaches him otherwise?
Oh man, what a loaded question. Wow.
I told you, putting you to work.
Yeah. After hours too.
Yes.
Let's see. What I will share is for anybody, we all want a sense of control. And here's your chance, right? If you are unhappy with where you at in life, manhood, womanhood, adulthood is about taking accountability and take some control. Resource out. Find some people that's going in a direction that you aiming to go into and meditate into that, right? I think it's just that simple. Millionaires hang out with other millionaires because they are millionaires. Mm-hmm. And I'm not a big money dude, but people understand money. It's that simple. It's that
Absolutely.
Simple, right? Those that are basking and want to really get close to the Lord, they hang out with people that are doing the same thing. They're trying to get closer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You remember when the old folks used to say, "Tell me your friends, I can tell you what you're gonna be doing." Mm-hmm. Where do you think that come from? You're going to be doing what other people around you, what you meditating in. If your friends are at home on the game all day, you're going to be doing the same.
Yeah.
If they're mad and got big feelings and just don't know how to control themselves, you're going to be very close into that ballpark. So take control is what I have to say. Take control and some accountability, and resource out to somebody or anyone that's doing something or going in a direction that you're trying to embody into your life.
I like that. That was a good one. That's good. That's what I'm talking about. Charge me later when I'm...
Stop it.
But I really just want to bring in, again, even if you guys don't feel comfortable reaching out to anyone, hopefully one sentence in this podcast truly touches you, to make you think different instead of the one-track mind that the world is teaching us right now. And I really just thank you, Mark, for having this conversation with me, coming back, leading on to it. Again, I will let you guys know about Men on a Mission coming out in September. I'll have the exact dates in the next up and coming weeks. But healing begins with honest conversation, and that's definitely about... I want to get to the conversation that you think about in your mind and bring them out to the forefront. If today's discussion kind of resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. I want you to share this episode with your father, your son, your man, your husband, co-worker. You never know who may be silently suffering. And I'll just even broaden it up. Share it with your girlfriends, your daughters, things like that, because like me, I feel like I suppress my emotions and I'm suffering in silence. If you're a man looking for support, connection, accountability, I encourage you to learn more about Men on a Mission and the work being done by Mark Jones in Advanced Counseling Solutions. Again, thank you, Mark, for continuing to create spaces where men don't just survive, but they also heal. I am unique, and this is Locked In Real Conversations. Until next time, keep healing, keep growing, and keep having conversations that matter. I'll see you next Sunday at 8 p.m.